Look at that water. Ugh. No wonder it's damp down here.
That's our great trouble. The pumps have to work day and night.
Now tell me, how does it go up to the surface?
Them small trucks are pushed along to the shaft and hoisted up in the cage. We'll follow one up.
Oh, I see. They go right up the shaft tower. And then the trucks of stone are...
That's it. Then the stone is crushed.
Well, what becomes of it now they've crushed it?
Pours through into a big bin or hopper.
Oh, I see. Ah, and then it feeds through into those little bucket things, eh?
You mean the rope railway strips?
Yes. I'd like to see how this overhead railway works.
So you shall.
Tell me, where is it going?
To the crushing plant a couple of miles away. We'll follow it over there. Long walk.
I say, that's rather interesting. That's the way they make the cable line turn the corner.
That's it. Now come along and we'll see how it arrives at the crushers. What's this? See it trips and dumps?
Oh, there's the man who pushes off the empties, eh?
Yes, off country for another load. Now, before we goes inside, look at the plant. Covers a big area, eh?
Yes, it certainly does.
Now the rocker oil feeds from the bins down to the stamping mills.
Is it pulverized there to a powder?
Yes. Water's added, makes it into a emulsion.
Where's it flowing to now?
To the separators.
Oh, that's interesting. I suppose that oscillating motion separates the powdered ore from the water as it flows over the corrugated surface.
Not all of it, sir. There's still some left in the water that flows off. These troughs and sluices take it on to another type of separator.
Is this the final one?
That's right. As it turns, the water flows off, leaving the deposit behind.
Ah, and then they cart it away in trucks, eh? Looks like mud. Where's it going?
It's going to the drying kilns. They bake it to a powder, and then it goes to the electric separator.
Oh, yes. This is the magnetic separator. Yes, I've seen this before. Different magnets draw off the various metals as they run over the conveyor belt.
You got it, sir. There's the tin.
First the iron, then the wolfram, which is used for hardening steel, And what's left is the pure tin. Yes, but it's pewter I'm after. I'm off to the pewter works. Well, many thanks, Mr. Carew. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
At the pewterers, the tin arrives in blocks or ingots, for it has by now been smelted into this form. The ingots are placed in a crucible. Now a 10% mixture of antimony and copper is prepared. This is placed in a smaller, separate crucible and melted at a very high temperature. Potatoes are fastened to an iron rod. These are for fluxing the mixture. The moist qualities of the potato act on the liquid metal, bringing all impurities to the surface. Then the antimony mixture is added to the liquid tin. Now the pewter is ready and is poured into molds. These ingots of pewter will be rolled into sheets, ready to be made into pewter ware. In another department, a girl cuts the rolls of metal into circles, from which the many pewter articles will be made up. In the drawing office, the art designer prepares his latest conceptions. For though pewter is one of the oldest known metal mediums, its use must progress with the modern trend of fashion. Under heavy drop hammers, various component parts of pewter ware take shape. Here, teapot spouts are being made. Still heavier press, the bodies of teapots take form, the soft metal readily yielding to the shape of the pattern mold. Now, on a lathe, wooden patterns are turned, exact replicas of the article to be made. The pewter sheet is then placed into position, and with specially shaped tools, the spinner commences his work. In the space of a few seconds, the article takes shape, conforming to its wooden pattern. Now, with a sharp blade, the decorative bands are cut. In this department, handles are cast. The liquid pewter is poured into molds. As the metal chills to the outside, the mold is turned over. The center pours back, and the result is a hollow cast handle. Here, over a smouldering hearth, pitch is melted. Then it is poured into the various pewter vessels, where it cools to a hard but resilient filling. Now the pitch-filled articles are in the hands of a master craftsman who hammers the ornamentation to the surface. The pitch filling prevents excessive indentation. This is true craftsmanship, an art handed down from father to son, from generation to generation of pewterers. To obtain perfect, flat surfaces, the ware has to be hammered over steel mandrels. This operation looks very simple, but years of practice are necessary to master the exact strength and touch of the hammer stroke. And so at length the various parts reach the assembly bench. Precisely and exactly made, each part fits perfectly to the other. A touch of solder welds them together, and gradually they become articles of familiar shape and form. After assembly, the first buffing flattens and smooths the surfaces. All pewterware bears the famous marks of its makers, which, like silver and goldware, are stamped upon it. From tough sheets of fiber, handles are made. First, they are marked out. And now, with a fine saw, the handles are cut from the solid sheet. Then, in a bench vise, a skilled artisan cuts and shapes. A keen eye and accurate judgment born of long experience produces a flawless and symmetrical handle. The finished ware receives its final buffing and polishing. With high-speed revolving mops and jeweler's rouge, each piece attains a glass-like surface. And so at length, pewterware of all shapes and designs reaches the final inspection department, whence it is carefully wrapped and packed. And so British pewter goes forth from its rugged Cornish origin to grace the tea and dining tables of the world.